Today on Judge Faith, Detroit roommates who discovered they had totally different lifestyles push each other to the breaking point.
Oh, she started complaining the first day she moved in.
She went immediately over to the house, sat down, drank a beer, and had the lights cut off.
You have a tenant in the house. You give her the courtesy of saying, I'm moving in.
And later, a terrifying accident forces a Nebraska teenager to face off with his ex-girlfriend's sister over which person must pay for the destroyed car.
And he goes, I wrecked your car. It was totaled. It was beyond totaled. It had to be winched from 2 trees.
She let me drive her car knowing that I'm not insured.
You knew she only had liability insurance and you asked to borrow the car.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Melisha Christian says her former roommate was a nightmare to deal with and used intimidation to force her to leave. She's suing for money owed from an illegal eviction. Defendant Dory Greer says she doesn't know because Melisha complained about everything and turned their home into a battleground.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Christian versus Greer.
Thank you, Juan. Melisha Christian?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Dory Greer,
Yes.
for $3,000 you say she owes you for an illegal eviction, penalties for cutting your utilities off for 13 days,
Yes.
and illegal entry.
Yes.
And I understand that you were renting a room from the defendant, correct?
That is correct.
How much were you paying to rent that room?
$325 a month.
So just so I'm clear, you were paying $325 a month in rent, and you paid a $325 security deposit.
That is correct.
To rent the room.
Yes.
And is this a house, ma'am?
This is a house.
How
This
many
is my
bedrooms are in the
grandparents' house. Yes, 3-bedroom, single-family house.
And you were renting rooms to various people
Yes, I was 2 people exactly.
during the time that she lived there?
Yes.
Okay, and I just want to be clear on the dates. You moved in on March 15th,
Yes.
2016, and you moved out at the end of May.
That is correct.
She said you didn't pay any rent the last month of May. You say she cut the utilities off and tried to illegally evict you and force you out, and that's why we're here. So why don't we start from the beginning? Tell me what happened. How'd you find this home and this place to live?
Well, on March 1st, 2016, I found Dory, and it was not a cute little children's story. It was more like a Nightmare on Elm Street. So I found her profile on roommates.com, and the reason why I picked her was because she purports it to be that she is the roommate. She has her picture on here. She has pictures of the home on here. She has her age. Nowhere in this
Advertised
ad.
as her looking for a roommate. May I see the ad?
That is correct.
And so what ends up happening? You go to the house and...
Well, she said it would be clean. And so I went to the home and looked around, and she said she would be moving into her grandfather's bedroom.
Okay, so it does look like you're advertising to find a roommate and you live there, but you did not live there?
No, I didn't live there. I gave her the information that I lived in Waterford.
She did live in
and
Waterford.
I was moving out at the end of April.
When the two of you met, did you tell her, I don't live in the house, someone else lives there?
Absolutely.
Before she gave you a security deposit?
Yes.
She said she was moving in at the end of her
Who
lease.
did
Who
you think was living
in.
there when you gave her the security deposit?
I thought I was going to be the only one living there until she moved in.
Okay, and what did you find out?
I found out later that it was someone else who was living there.
Did you go to her after you gave her the security deposit and say, there's someone else living in the home, I thought it was you, I want my security deposit back, I don't want to move in?
No, because it was...
So this is not an issue, because you found out someone else was living there and you chose to move in anyway. You didn't even ask for the security deposit
I didn't have somewhere
back.
to go. I didn't have anywhere to go.
Okay, well, you made a choice. You had not paid rent, right?
That's correct.
Okay. What happens when you move in? Who's this other person?
So it's a girl half my age.
Is that a problem?
We have nothing in common. As it turns out, she was not clean. She was very nasty. She would leave the bathroom, the garbage running over.
Just show me the photos you want me to see.
She left hair all over the sink.
But she's not here. You're not suing her, right?
Is this all of them? Just give me
No.
one stack.
You just want to talk about her? Get it off your chest?
Yeah. Because, everybody needs to know she is nasty.
She left hair all over the sink, and this is your evidence of that?
Yes.
Can I see the photo? Where's the hair? That one hair. That happens sometimes.
Well, you should clean up behind yourself.
Did you not talk to the roommate?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But I couldn't make her clean up.
And has she been making these complaints to you about the roommate?
Oh, she started complaining the first day she moved in.
What is this a photo of?
I sprinkled Comet down to give her a hint to clean up. And instead of cleaning up, she took all of my products and splattered them all over the bathroom and then threw them into the toilet. That's what kind of led up to everything.
So, did you move out at the end of April, ma'am?
No, because the girl put the stuff all over the bathroom.
What
and
does
then
that have to do with you moving out?
She gave me a 7-day notice.
No. In April, you give your 30, ma'am, put your papers down. I want to understand this. April 1st, you tell her you're moving out at the end of April.
That's right.
Why did you not move out at the end of April when you gave your 30 days notice?
Because I knew she wasn't going to give me my security deposit back, and I figured I would just use up the next month with my security deposit.
Okay, so you don't get to do that, though. You do understand that, right? A security deposit is just that, a security deposit. I know people do this all the time. You gave her 30 days notice, but then you think, I'm not going to get my security deposit back, so I'm just going to stay and not pay rent for a month.
That's right.
Okay,
She wasn't going to get it.
But that's not legal.
But that is what a security deposit can be used for.
No, it can't be used for your rent. Your rent is due. A security deposit is for the landlord at the end to assess if there are any damages beyond normal wear and tear. Or if you fall behind on your rent, but you don't get to proactively make the decision, I'm not going to pay rent, and she can just use the security deposit for that. Because you know what happens? She turns around and she said, you know what, when you moved out, there were damages. There were things that she has to clean, and she said she had to do that out of her own pocket because she had no security deposit. So you give her your 30 days notice on April 1st that you are moving out at the end of April.
Yes.
And then you stay. You hold over illegally in the apartment for the entire month of May. And then you have the audacity to bring a lawsuit in court.
Coming up, the uncomfortable roommate situation goes from awkward to shady.
I had a camera set up.
Why are you running surveillance in the house?
And later, a terrifying accident has two Nebraskans battling over which person will pay for the destroyed vehicle.
A car had pulled into the inside lane. I went around the car, but I slid and hit the trees.
Plaintiff Melisha Christian says Dory used intimidation to force her to leave. She's suing for money owed from an illegal eviction. Defendant Dory Greer says she doesn't know because Melisha turned their home into a battleground.
You move in the middle of May. Why?
Because I didn't have anywhere else to go.
You have a tenant in the house. Do you give her the courtesy of saying, I'm moving in?
I told her I was going to move in April, but I didn't. It changed to May.
My question to you is, you stayed in May and you said she did what to try to get you out?
Well, she cut off the lights.
When?
She entered illegally.
When? When did she cut off the lights?
She cut off the lights on May the 9th.
May 9th. Did you do that?
Your Honor, I couldn't afford to pay the bill anymore.
Now, you know that's not what's going on here.
No,
you know that, right? I've already talked to her about what she did wrong. Now I'm going to talk to you.
Okay.
Because you want her out. She hasn't paid May rent.
Right.
So you think you're going to force her out by turning off the lights, and she doesn't have electricity, so she's going to leave. You can't do that either.
Your Honor, I could not pay the bill. It was $465. I could not afford to pay it. It was nothing that had to do with her. I mean, I asked her.
Why was the bill $465?
Because because I had so many other bills to pay that I couldn't pay the bill. I mean, I got a million bills.
You have a tenant living in an apartment. This is not the electricity company coming in saying you haven't paid your bill. I'm going to turn it off. You went and had them turned off knowing she was living there. And in your ad, you say utilities are included.
Yes, I did.
But the problem is,
Your
it's
Honor,
not the utility company that turned them off. You turned them off knowing she was living there.
I was paying the utilities and I was
What
paying the
happened
water
next?
bills.
So she didn't have utilities for the rest of May?
No, she went and turned it on the next day.
I got it cut on
And then
Monday.
as soon as I moved back into the
wait,
apartment.
hold on a second. You got them turned on the next day?
Yes.
And she had them
got 'em
turned
cut
back off how many days later?
On the 19th, she went over to the house, sat down, drank a beer, and had the lights cut off. I had a camera set up.
Why do you have a
She
camera
had a
set up?
camera
I had
set
a
up.
camera set up
Why
because she
are
was
you
shady.
running surveillance in the
Because
house?
she
She
said
was
shady.
shady.
She got
Because
surveillance
she
in
was
my
shady.
house.
Let me see you submitted video? Let me see the
I
video.
did submit a video.
Do you know you're under surveillance?
No.
Yes, she does because she
In my
walks
own
up.
house.
She done been in there
Who
a
is
whole bunch
this?
of times. I don't know who that person is she's with. She came in with somebody else.
That's my daughter.
She
probably.
looked at the camera
And I shut
then
the
she
thing
shut
down.
the camera off.
I shut it down because I knew it was a camera on there.
You both were wrong in your actions. You did two things. You gave her notice, and then you withdrew that notice because you decided just to stay there. And then the second thing is you did not pay rent for the month of May. So you illegally stayed in the apartment for the month of May. So then you want to turn around and sue, not talk about what you did wrong, but just say, then when I was there illegally, Judge, she took illegal actions as well. What really should happen in this case is I should order you to pay her May rent, and then I could order penalties. $325 to the defendant, pay the May rent. Defendant to the plaintiff, $325 in penalties for an illegal eviction. How's that? And we go home with nothing. No one goes home with anything because two wrongs don't make a right. That's my judgment in this case. No one gets any money damages.
I learned today not to rent from individuals who are landlords because they don't know what they're doing.
Thank God it's over with. Thank God I don't have to deal with this anymore, right?
Plaintiff Tara Larson says she loaned the defendant her car and he totaled it in an accident. She's suing for the value of a car. Defendant George Howard says he doesn't know because Tara loaned him the car knowing he didn't have insurance, and the car wasn't worth the money she's asking to be paid.
Tara Larson,
Yes.
you were suing the defendant George Howard
Yes.
for $2,345, the value of a car you say the defendant wrecked.
Yes.
So why don't we start from the beginning, ma'am? Tell me how you know Mr. Howard.
I know Mr. Howard, he had been coming around the house. He had actually been in a relationship with my sister. And he had come to my bedroom on March 18th and said that he was going to go ahead and ask me to borrow my car. I said, that's perfectly fine, no problem.
You just went and knocked on her bedroom door and said, hey, can I borrow your car?
Yeah, I asked her if I could use her car, and she told me yeah.
And that was the first time?
No, that was not the first time.
Oh, so you let him drive your car
Oh yeah,
several times?
I had also driven with him in the car and other cars as well.
Okay, so how many times approximately would you say you let him borrow your car?
2?
So March 18th,
Yes.
what happens?
He comes to my door and he asks for the keys, and I said, yeah, you can go ahead, no problem. I understand I've not had a car before too. So I was half asleep at this point. So I said, yeah, you can definitely borrow my car. And then I go back to sleep. Unbeknownst to me, he comes to my door and he goes, I wrecked your car. Just telling me bluntly. And I go, okay, let's kind of talk about this.
How bad was it?
It was totaled. It was beyond totaled. It had to be winched from 2 trees.
Did he tell you it was totaled, or did he tell you it was bad?
He did tell me that it was bad after he had initially told me it was wrecked, and I didn't think it was that bad. And then that's what I saw. So he said, I'm so sorry. I'll try to find my own way to work. I'll help you out the best I can. And I said, no problem. I understand. I'm glad you're okay.
Okay, so what happened?
A car had pulled into the inside lane, slammed on its brakes and stopped. And so I went around the car, and then there was a minivan just a few feet away, so I had to cut back into the inside from the out. The car went sideways, and then ABS locked up, and I slid and hit the trees.
So you're saying it's not your fault because another car hit you?
Right.
Was there a police report?
No. There was 5 witnesses that came over
Okay.
to see if I was okay, and no one seen where that car went.
So was there a police report?
Yes, there was.
Okay, why do you say there wasn't a police report and she has a police report? Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
You don't
I
know?
didn't. No.
How long have you been driving? Don't tell me 6 months.
Since I was 16.
Okay. So what's your insurance situation? You only had liability insurance?
I only had liability at that time.
What year's the car?
It was a 2003 Silver Alero. I had actually borrowed the money from my aunt, a personal loan, to get the car in January of 2015.
Coming up on Judge Faith, does the police report tell a different story?
When I asked them if they seen the other car, they told me yeah.
Both witnesses at the scene say they only saw your vehicle.
Plaintiff Tara Larson says George totaled her car. She's suing for the value of a car. Defendant George Howard says he doesn't know because Tara knew he didn't have insurance.
So what do you think happens in these situations when you only have liability insurance, you let other people borrow your car and they get into an accident and it's a 19-year-old? Do you have a job?
Not at the moment.
19, doesn't have a job. How do you think you're going to get money or get paid?
I definitely did not expect to get all that my car was worth, but I believe if you take something, if you are asking to borrow something, you're to bring it back in the same condition it was in.
But accidents happen.
Oh, and
of
I
course,
understand
if you're
that.
driving your car, an accident could happen.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just talking about from a perspective of someone who only has liability insurance and you're letting other people drive your car. He doesn't have a lot of money. How do you expect someone to cover thousands of dollars in damages if there's an accident? You don't have insurance.
I said that I would take payments. I'm not expecting it to be paid off soon. I just want what's mine. I don't have a car now. I had to quit my job.
Why'd you have to quit your job?
Because I was a merchandiser, so I was going from store to store to store. I was using my mom's car, but then it actually had wheel bearings issues in the front, so I wasn't able to use it any further. And I was trying to get a car, but unfortunately merchandising is not as consistent as you would hope for when you're trying to get another car.
And now I'm going to turn to you because you were driving the car. You're the reason she doesn't have one now. Yeah. But don't you feel partially responsible because you were driving the car to pay something for it? Why haven't you paid anything?
Well, I mean, I don't feel responsible at all because she let me drive her car knowing that I'm not insured on it at all.
That's the reason you don't feel responsible?
Yeah.
Let's turn the tables on that. You knew she only had liability insurance and you asked to borrow the car.
Correct.
According to the police, you said an unknown vehicle cut you off, causing you to take action. You went off the road and hit a tree. And
Correct.
You were cited for a fixed object collision. Mm-hmm. Both witnesses at the scene say they only saw your vehicle. You're the only person that saw another car.
No, yeah, there was no contact with another car. When I asked them if they seen the other car, they told me, yeah. They seen the white car come into the inside lane.
Well, you should have got that information because according to the police, this looks like it was a one-car accident. Perhaps you lost control of the car.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
There's the issue of liability, there's the issue of damages. Liability, I find you liable because I think it was your negligence that caused damage to the car. If this was an act of God and lightning struck and hit the car and you went off the road, then we'd be talking about a different scenario. But I find that you were negligent based on the information in the police report and being cited by the police. I'm going to order you to pay a portion of the value of the car. And you can't expect to only have liability insurance on your car. And when someone has an accident, it's, you have to pay for my entire car.
And I understand, Your Honor.
If you're only going to have liability insurance, then you can't lend your car out to people who have no money to pay you if they get into an accident.
Your Honor, I do understand, and I did definitely learn my lesson on this one.
You're both young. You're 20 years old, 19 years old. Lesson learned, right?
Definitely.
Okay, let me look at the Blue Book value of your car to date. In fair condition, $1,500. That's what I'm going to order the defendant to pay you, $1,500.
Okay.
Blue Book value of the car. Good luck.
Thank you.
Today on Judge Faith, when these two ladies try to make a deal online.
So where do you get all of your high-end bags from?
Through family, through stores, resale, flea market, all over.
Okay, so these are your personal bags?
Both get stuck holding the bag.
I had to give a lot of her bags back because they were counterfeit.
I never went up to her and I never told her like this is real. I said I don't know.
So what happened? How did you end up selling a counterfeit bag?
And later, these two roommates need a judge to decide what to do about inventory.
He had decided to help himself to some of that inventory.
What kind of inventory?
Edible marijuana.
So if you were ever going to dress up and tell a judge you had some weed and a friend of yours took it, this would probably be the best way to do it. So I do give you credit for
Thank you very
that,
okay? Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Miriam Attai says she wanted the defendant to take over her business of selling designer bags on eBay, but never got paid for the sales. She's suing for money owed. Defendant Judy Ebner says the bags given to her to sell were either damaged or fake, and any profit was used in refunds to online customers. She's countersuing for the value of bags the plaintiff still has and harassment.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, we have Attai versus Ebner.
Thank you, Barbara. Miriam Attai?
That's right.
You are suing the defendant, Judy Ebner, for $2,500. You say she owes you money, profits from an online sale of handbags?
That's correct.
And you are countersuing, ma'am, for $1,400 for the value of handbags and for harassment?
Yes.
Okay, so I understand that the two of you entered into some kind of agreement where the defendant would sell handbags on eBay and the two of you would split the profit 50-50?
Correct.
Okay, so tell me how that started. How did you meet her?
I met her July 2nd. I was just tired of doing all the eBay thing. I have a 2-year-old and it's taken all my time. And I was just looking for a power seller that can just buy the whole collection.
What is a power seller? I don't use eBay. What is a power seller?
Somebody that is putting like 24 hours or 100% of their time in online selling.
What do you do as a power seller?
I don't know that I would consider myself a power seller.
Okay.
But I sell handbags on eBay.
I assume you've sold a lot of bags on eBay? Approximately how many?
It's been about a year, and I've probably sold about 500 in the year.
All right. Do you make a pretty good profit from doing that?
No.
No? Okay.
You don't make a lot of money doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you get all of your high-end bags from?
It's through family, through stores, resale, flea market, all over.
Okay, so these are your personal bags?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So yeah, I had these bags and I took it over to her, and looking at her, I trusted her. I was like, you know, nice lady, nice house. I didn't think of anything like verbal agreement is fine with me. I didn't even think about contract.
Okay, how many bags in total did you give her to sell for you on eBay?
Over a 3-month period, I gave her about 50. She gave me back.
She gave me about 20. Yeah.
And you guys have nothing in writing.
I have pictures.
You have pictures from eBay of your bags, right? Show me what you have proof of what she sold on eBay. And ma'am, I'm going to ask you, Ms. Ebner, how many bags in total did you sell on eBay?
Okay, I sold 15 for her.
Okay, so that's the same amount that she says you sold.
Yes.
All right, so that we're in agreement on.
Yes. I had to give a lot of her bags back because they were counterfeit, and you can't sell counterfeit bags.
How many bags were counterfeit? And when did you find that out?
Every time she would
So the
give
bags
me,
weren't, all of them weren't real?
I told her like maybe 2 or 3. I wasn't sure about if they're real or not, but I told her, do your research before you list them, because I wasn't sure. I did whatever I can as far as like knowing if it's real or not.
Okay, did she tell you that?
She said they might not, but she was pretty sure they were all real.
Okay, all right.
So I did my research.
So what happened? How did you end up selling a counterfeit bag?
I didn't. I took it down before it ever got sold and gave it back to her.
How did you find out it was counterfeit?
2 bags, I got messages from actual eBay buyers that said, do you know this bag is counterfeit? And they said, this is why.
Wow, okay.
And I said, thank you, because if eBay had come to me and said that, they would have suspended me.
Right. But why did you continue to sell? Because at that point, I would be uncomfortable selling bags on her behalf, but you continued to sell.
I had bags that were listed that I knew were good, and I went ahead and left those, gave her back the ones that were in question. Anytime she brought me anything new, 90% of them I gave back. They were either too damaged or they were counterfeit.
Okay, so why did she only get $100 from the sale of 15 bags?
There are the costs that are involved, the eBay fees, which you get listing fees and you get selling fees. That all has to come out of the net amount that the buyer pays. So I divided the fees, everything was 50-50.
And so she only got $100 from the sale
I gave her
of 15
$100 in
bags?
cash because she would only take cash from me. And what I wanted to do was pay her through my PayPal account.
Ma'am, my question is this, because
Yes.
we're here today, and my question is, she only got $100 from the
Yes.
sale of 15 bags?
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't sound right to me.
No.
Okay, where's the rest of the profit?
Coming up on Judge Faith, who's making shady, threatening phone calls to settle this matter?
She had somebody with a Middle Eastern accent left a message on my voicemail. It was the sound of a police car siren. I was afraid to go outside. I didn't know what she was gonna do next.
Because my background, Middle Eastern, she thinks, what, I'm gonna bomb her house or do something like that?
And later, Judge Faith discovers candy and inventory.
I took a handful of candies that he had in a cabinet.
Oh, so you call it edibles, you call it candy.
It wasn't.
I call it weed. They call it weed where I come from, just so you know.
Plaintiff Miriam Matai says she never got all the profits from the designer bags she consigned to sell. Defendant Judy Ebner counters that the bags were bad and all profits were refunded to angry customers.
The rest of the profit, I gave her about 30 bags. I have a list of them. She was going to take them to a swap meet in Niles Canyon. They do it every year. It's a big annual sale. She was going to take all the bags that I gave her. They were none of hers to begin with.
The 15 bags you sold on eBay.
I understand, but we
You
were
made
going
a
to trade.
profit from those 15 bags.
The
She was
profit-
supposed to get half of that profit.
The profit came down to being $553.32.
And what was your issues with the numbers in the spreadsheet?
Oh, yeah, it's all wrong. The buyers pay for the shipping. Why am I being charged for shipping? I don't understand. It's right there on the listing. It says buyer pay for
Even
shipping.
though the buyer pays for shipping,
Excuse me, I wasn't done.
still have to pay for shipping.
She gets free boxes, priority, like UPS or United Postal gives it for her for free. She charged $9 per shipping. That how much it really costs. I have done eBay and I've done it for a while. Charges the customer $14, pockets the rest of the money, and still charges me for shipping. Like, it's not enough that she's already taken this money from me. And second of all, the piece of piled junk that she gave me, if I want to get rid of my own purses, why would I want to take her junk and sell it to the flea market and make her money?
Well, because I'm trying to figure that out as well. You say, because your counterclaim is about, you say you gave her some purses to sell.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out how that happened. Did she not give you anything? Is that your testimony?
Look, I walked into her house. She goes, hey, you know, these purses, they didn't do well for me. Do you have any niece and nephew? Want to give it to them? I'm like, you know what? I don't want to take it. And then again, she's like, you know, why don't you just take it? I'm like, I don't need it. I have nowhere to put it. What am I going to do with it? Oh, you know what to do with it. I'm like...
That's not what happened. She said she would take them. I said, fine, here's a whole, but they were all very nice designer purses.
And she's going to sell them at the swap meet.
And split the profits.
I'm sorry, designer purses? They were Target and Kmart brand. What's designer purses to you?
But what evidence do you have that there was an agreement between the two of you that she would sell 30 of your designer handbags at a swap meet?
It was just verbal.
Okay. What's your counterclaim for harassment about?
She had somebody with a Middle Eastern accent actually called me and left a message on my voicemail. It was the sound of a police car siren. And then the second call was about 2 days later, the same Middle Eastern man with the same voice, same accent, left a message on my phone saying that he was from eBay Security.
What does a Middle Eastern accent sound like? That's what I want to know. Is she like discriminating, or is she being like, I don't understand?
I was afraid to go outside. I didn't know what she was going to do next.
Did you call eBay Security on her?
Middle Eastern, because my background, Middle Eastern, she thinks, what, I'm going to bomb her house or do something like that? That's just totally harassing me in that kind of way, like saying that, hey, you're Middle Eastern and you're harassing me and I'm afraid to go outside. That is baloney. I've never even, no.
Okay.
That's a low blow. That's like really a low blow.
I was just identifying his accent. It's the same as hers.
Okay.
Oh, so I got a twin now. Do I have a twin brother or whatever? I don't have anybody that would do something like that.
Okay, Miss Atta.
That just makes me really mad. And then she has 5 more of my bags that wasn't sold and 5 more that she did not list it on.
Upstairs. She can have them back anytime.
The bags are here?
Yeah.
Bring the bags down. Give the bags back to her.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it? Is that it? Those
and
are
her
the 5
pile of
bags?
junk is in my trunk.
This is perfect. You all brought the items with you to court today.
Thank God.
Bring them in. We're going to make the exchange. We're going to go our separate ways as of today, okay? This is one of the reasons why when you decide to make a partnership with someone, because that's basically what you did, even though you're selling bags on eBay, you entered into a partnership, you just decided to do this sale, nothing was in writing, and you've both brought me a ton of papers to try to figure this all out. And on your counterclaim, I am ordering that she return the bags that she has with her, that she brought with her to court today. And for your harassment claim, ma'am, I do not find that you have provided enough evidence sufficient to prove that the plaintiff harassed you. My judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $828.35. That's what you owe her, ma'am. Have a good day. Thank you.
Plaintiff Ramez Wissa says he rented a room from the defendant, but had to leave town after losing his job. He's suing for his security deposit and personal property. Defendant Scotty LaRock says his former roommate agreed to a 6-month rental, and he forfeited his security deposit when he left early.
Ramez Wissa?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Scotty LaRock?
Yep.
How do you say your last name?
LaRock.
LaRoss? Okay. For $1,280 for the return of a security deposit and a value of a television?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll start with you, sir. What's going on here?
Yes, so I moved in with Scott in November of 2013. I gave him a deposit, which I have proof of right here.
Okay, did the two of you sign a lease?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that lease?
I do not have a copy of the lease.
Did he sign a lease?
No, we didn't sign a lease. There was no
No
lease
roommate
signed.
agreement or anything like that? Okay, why do you say you did and he says you didn't?
Well, we did, and it was a month-to-month lease, month-to-month agreement.
Well, what was the agreed upon monthly payment?
$950.
Is that true?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, so although we don't have a lease, both of you agree that you agreed to pay $950 and it was month to month, sir?
There was a month-to-month term, but it was with a 6-month lease agreement.
Okay, so why don't you have the lease?
Because we never signed anything. It was a verbal agreement.
Okay, but that's not how, when you don't have a signed agreement, by default, leases are considered to be month to month.
Right.
Just so you know.
Right.
All right. If you want someone to agree to stay with you for 6 months, you have to have a written agreement.
Okay.
So what's going on here? You move in. Is he a good roommate? What's going on?
He was great. I mean, the situation was fine. I really liked the apartment, but I had to switch jobs, so I didn't know what city I was going to end up in. So I just basically gave Scott notice in December that I'm going to have to move out.
How many days notice did you give him?
At least 30.
Okay, and did he give you that notice, sir?
Yes, he did.
All right, so tell me what's going on. Why did you keep his security deposit?
The reason that I kept the deposit was he didn't stay the agreed upon 6-month period that we had agreed upon. I don't want to deal with looking for another roommate and all the stuff that goes into that. And something happened right before I moved out that kind of miffed me a little bit.
Coming up on Judge Faith, there's still the TV.
What's the issue with the television? Why do you still have the TV?
He left it there. I took it as a parting gift after everything that happened, and he didn't stay there for 6 months.
Sir, if you took it, it's not a gift. If you took it as a parting gift, it is not a gift. You do understand that, right?
Plaintiff Ramez Wissa says he is due a return of the security deposit and TV set after moving out. Defendant Scotty LaRock says the plaintiff skipped out on a verbal lease, so he doesn't owe anything.
A friend of mine had left some inventory at my house for his edible company that he has for
What kind of inventory?
Edible marijuana.
Okay.
And Ramez, he had decided to help himself to some of that inventory.
The plaintiff?
And I found it, and I asked him about it, and he's
wait. How did you find that he had helped himself to some inventory, as you put it?
In his bag.
How did you see it in his bag?
Because his bag was open, and it was sitting in his bag.
So his bag was open.
Yeah.
It was in my room, actually.
In his room?
He went in my room.
and you saw some edible inventory, as you call it, in his bag.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and so what did you do upon seeing
Well,
the
I
inventory?
confronted him about it, and he said, I didn't think you would care.
I took a handful of candies that he had in a cabinet. Me and
so
Scott,
you call it edibles, you call it candy.
It wasn't.
I call it weed. They call it weed where I come from, just so you know.
It wasn't even for my own personal consumption, just to be clear. Just to be perfectly 100% honest with you, Your Honor, I do not enjoy any of those things, but I had a friend who was taking me to the airport who happened to maybe like them. So I took a couple. And me and Scott, Scott would, help himself to my beers. Like, we didn't have a, tight,
So I guess if you're ever going to come to court and tell the judge that someone took some of your weed, right, this is probably the best way to do it. I'm going to read a part of your answer. You wrote, when I came home that day on Super Bowl Sunday, I noticed that Ramez had some marijuana paraphernalia in his bag. The edibles belong to a friend of mine that owns a medical marijuana dispensary. He had left some of his inventory in my apartment.
That's correct.
I confronted Ramez about the edibles, and he said, oh, I didn't think you needed it. So if you were ever going to dress up and tell a judge you had some weed and a friend of yours took it, this would probably be the best way to do it. So I do give you credit for that, okay? But you know that is not an issue that I am going to deal with in this court. You understand? So what other reason are you keeping his $950 security deposit?
The fact that he didn't give me the 6 month we agreed upon stay.
You do not have a signed lease, sir. That means it is month to month. He gave you more than 30 days notice.
And Your Honor, he never told me that there was a problem with me moving out. He was like, go ahead, do your thing.
Well, here's the problem was,
he was never like, I'm going to keep your deposit. You didn't give me enough notice. Because if there was a situation, I would have looked for somebody to fill my spot. There's no problem of getting somebody to move into a great apartment in West Hollywood, for that much. I would have been more than happy to help.
What's the issue with the television? Why do you still have the TV?
He left it there. I took it as a parting gift after everything that happened. And he didn't stay there for 6 months.
Sir, if you took it, it's not a gift. If you took it as a parting gift, it is not a gift. You do understand that, right? You've been smoking too much.
I don't smoke. Ask him, I don't smoke.
You've been smoking.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
In order for you to keep his security deposit, you can't do it because he annoyed you, because you didn't like him, or because he tried to take some of your edibles. Okay, that's not a reason you keep a security deposit. If he didn't owe rent, if he was breaking the lease, those would be reasons, but the reasons you have given me are not sufficient. So I am going to order you to return his security deposit in the amount of $950.
Okay.
As for the TV, how old is your Vizio TV?
It was given to me as a gift about... It really was. This is a real gift, though. Somebody bought me a real gift.
So this TV is clearly the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
Okay? When was the TV given to you?
It was given to me a month before I moved into Scott's apartment.
So how old was it? How old is the TV now?
October 2013. So about a year.
Okay, so I'm going to order him to pay you $100 for the television, sir. So my total judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $1,050 plus court costs. Good luck.
Today on Judge Faith, she says she was just a tax break to her money-hungry big sister.
I stayed with Amanda for a month and a half. I didn't actually stay with her until the middle of November.
Who did you stay with then?
I was staying with my boyfriend then.
How old is he?
He's 20. No, he's older than me. He's 32.
But she says her little sister is ungrateful.
As long as she have electricity, hot water, gas, food, a roof over her head, I feel I don't owe her anything.
Now Judge Faith lays down the law, settling the sister versus sister family feud.
Everything that they're saying today, they're not making everything up.
But they are.
Don't. No. Stop.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Angel Hackney says her older sister Amanda claimed her on taxes and owes Angel a portion of the refund. Defendant Amanda Danko says she doesn't owe anything because when she filed taxes, she was the legal guardian for her youngest sister. She's accompanied by Alicia Smith.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Hackney versus Danko.
Thank you, Juan. Angel Hackney?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Amanda Danko?
Yes.
For $600 you say she owes you.
Yes.
So let's start from the beginning. I read your papers, and I understand that the defendant is your sister?
Yes.
And when you were 17 years old, you lived with her for a period of time?
Yes, I stayed with her for a month and a half.
Okay, and that year, when she filed her income tax return, she claimed you as a dependent.
Yes.
And you believe that she did that unlawfully?
Yes, because there was never an agreement that we had.
You're suing her for $600 because the two of you then agreed, you say, that she would give you $600 because she wasn't supposed to claim you. You were going to file your own income tax return?
Yes.
Is that the correct understanding?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. How did you end up living with your sister? Tell me about that.
Well, I was staying in a group home for like a whole year, and then on May the 2nd, she actually got custody
Why were you
of me.
staying in a group home?
Well, me and my mom really wasn't getting along. Like, we're
That's
not
so
really
not
treated
true.
well. But
She steals and she spoils.
Ma'am, I want to hear what she has to say, and then
Okay.
I'll give you the opportunity to respond, okay? So are you the youngest?
I have one sister under me.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19 right now.
Okay, well, how old were you when you moved into the group home?
When I moved into the group home in 2012, I was 16. Then I turned 17 in there. And then I came out on May 2nd.
But why did you move into the group home? You were not getting along with your mother?
I wasn't getting along with my mom.
And why is that?
I'm not happy at home. I didn't want to be at home. I would
Okay.
always go somewhere. That's why I picked up a job. I started working. I was in school. From the time that I would be working until the time that I was in school, like I was gone the whole day. So she kind of felt like I was running the streets. Well, in actuality, I was, but at least I was doing the correct things.
And so at 17, though, you move out of the group home and she moves in with you?
She moved with me a day before she turned 17.
Okay. And what do you say the issues were?
The issue was, see, she's smart, but she's a manipulator. Angel was in the custody of the courts at 12. You know, she chose to take the wrong path, hang with the wrong people. At 14, when she hit 14, she ended back up in the Division of Youth Services.
Had you been arrested?
Yes.
Okay, what was that for?
Not staying with my mom, not being in her house, following her rules.
Angel was arrested for something else at the age of 12. She was arrested for a robbery.
Okay, if it's 12, what does it have to do with now?
At the age of 14, she was incorrigible. She didn't listen to my mom. She wouldn't listen to my dad. She wouldn't listen to anybody. So therefore, the courts had suggested that she went back to DYS. She stayed there until she was 16. A day before she turned 16 is when the courts released her to me. My mom didn't want her, my dad didn't want her, and for her saying she's the outcast. No, she's the spoilest one of all. So she was released to me April the 1st, before she turned 17. So therefore, she was in my custody until 18. So I was responsible for her until she was 18. So when she turned 18, basically she could just go on about her business, do whatever she wanted to do.
And is that why you claimed her on your tax returns
She
that
was
year?
with me the whole year. Angel would come in when she wanted to. She would leave when she wanted to. They gave her a curfew, I think. And she wasn't doing anything. They were sending letters to my house. She wasn't responding to her service coordinator. So basically, it got to the point where Angel would do what she wanted to do.
Was she in school at that time?
She was in school, and she was working. Angel would talk to me any kind of way, come in my house trying to control my household, try to tell me how to raise my kids. Like, no, how can you tell me how to raise my kids and you're not even in your parents can't even raise you?
And what do you say? You say that you didn't live with her that entire year.
I stayed with Amanda for a month and a half. I didn't actually stay with her until October, the beginning week of October, until the middle of November.
Who did you stay with then?
I was staying with my boyfriend then.
How old is he?
He's 20.
No, he's older than me. He's 32. Angel been with him since she was 14.
If he's 30,
this
and you see
is
how
another
people
reason.
Is he 32 years
okay,
old?
if he's 30, no, he's not.
He's 30
If he's
years
30,
old.
Why
He's
would you call
over
him
30.
your brother? What type of
Stand
sister
up.
would
You're
you
the-
be to
you're
make him?
Sister?
Yes.
Okay, who's her boyfriend? How old is he?
He's around 30-something years old. Angel was messing with him ever since she was around 14. He is
She's
an older
still
guy.
with him to this
yes.
day.
Okay, step over.
Okay,
What do you want to say about this? And you are Alicia, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, Angel was basically standing up here lying.
Coming up on Judge Faith, is Angel being a bratty baby sister, or is Amanda just a bossy big sister?
Angel did not listen to me. She walk out my house when she want to. She come in when she want to. So I got so fed up with it, and there was nothing that I can do. So I just let her do whatever she want to do.
They try to paint me as I'm a horrible person when that's not the case.
Plaintiff Angel Hackney says her older sister Amanda kept her from getting a tax refund by claiming her as a dependent. She's suing for money promised. Defendant Amanda Daco says she doesn't owe anything because the state awarded her legal custody of her youngest sister.
Everything Amanda is saying is true. Angel got out. She couldn't come home with my mother because my mom is tired of it. Angel is very disrespectful. She calls my mama every type of name that you could think of that's not appropriate for you to talk to your mom. My mom, she loved her. She loved all her girls, but she cannot deal with Angel. No one in the family can deal with Angel. Sure. Angel did get locked up when she was younger for stealing that, robbing that beauty supply, I believe, yes.
Are you rude to and disrespectful to your mother? What's going on? Are you calling her names?
We never got along since I was young because at a young age, I see how she treat them is different from how she treat them.
Okay, and so does that
it's
cause
always
you?
been like
and
that.
so
It's never been different.
And so is that what leads you to go out and commit a robbery or theft?
No, because that's not what I was going out there doing. They try to paint me as I'm a horrible person when that's not the case.
Yes. How did you find out she claimed you as a dependent?
Because she called me probably like around May, the year that she had filed me, and she was like, well, let me know if I could file you on your taxes and use your school credit, and I just give you $600. And I'm like, I kept pushing her off because I was gonna file my own taxes because as you can see, I got the IRS information, and even on those, it has the addresses of where I stayed at. None of them have her address at all.
And you think because you only lived with her a month and a half that she can't claim you? Who provided your support in 2013?
I provided my own support in 2013. I have plenty of jobs. I have 4 pages worth of different jobs where I was working throughout the whole year.
Who do you live with?
Myself.
Okay, by yourself. And so you're now living on your own?
Yes.
And where are you working?
Yes.
You're working now?
Yes.
And you're in school full time?
Yep. I'm going for business.
Did she come to you and have a conversation with you and say, hey, you filed me on your taxes, you weren't supposed to, I'd like for you to pay me $600 and we'll just call this a wash?
I talked to her service coordinator first, which is the person that released her into my custody. And I asked her, was I able to file Angel on my taxes? She told me yes, because she was released to me April the 1st. Her birthday is April the 2nd. She turned 17. She was in my custody the whole year. When I tried to give her back to the state because she was being incorrigible, like I said, trying to run my household, tell me how to run my kids, and I'm trying to give her back to the state.
And so what happened with that?
They told me that they was trying to give me a neglect charge for her. If I gave her back to this, I basically couldn't give her back, or they was gonna hit me with neglect. I have my own kids, and I work in the nursing field, so I'm not gonna take no neglect charge over nobody's child. Angel did not listen to me. She walk out my house when she want to. She come in when she want to. She go and please. So I got so fed up with it, and there was nothing that I can do, and the service coordinator can do, so I just let her do whatever she want to do. Another part of her stipulations was not to be with this man.
Was that a part of the stipulation?
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes.
That wasn't a part of the stipulation?
It was not.
You 14 years old and you messing with a man that's 28 to 30 years old. Like,
but at that point when she was 17, was that a part of the stipulation?
No, she was 14 when she met him.
I understand, but at this point she's living with you.
She was 17.
Was that a part of the current stipulation?
The court still said that she was not supposed to deal with him. She's supposed to remain in my household. She's supposed to meet with her worker, get a job, and go to school. Angel wasn't even meeting with the worker. The worker was sending letters to my house. She was like,
and I assume you don't have any of that paperwork with you?
No, I don't have the letters that she sent, but I have the letters from when they released her into my custody.
Right, I understand that. You submitted that to the court.
Right, and like I said, she's a child. As long as she have electricity, hot water, gas, food, a roof over her head, I feel I don't owe her anything.
Coming up, Judge Faith brushes the chip off a sister's shoulder.
Now you're showing what you're really like.
Okay,
because I've told you 5 times to stop talking, and you won't stop talking. So you're not respecting the court. And I know if you're acting like this in court, I can only imagine what you're acting like at home.
Plaintiff Angel Hackney says her older sister agreed to share her tax refund because Amanda never asked permission. She's suing for money promised. Defendant Amanda Daco says she never agreed to a refund because she was Angel's legal guardian.
So what was the issue? What was the issue
me.
when you stayed with your sister?
To be honestly,
Were you coming in and out at all different times of day and night?
I barely wanted to be there because she had guys running in and out every time you turned around.
Just like she didn't want to be at her mother's house.
I'm being honest. Drug test right now. I was
You guys got to listen, all right?
would smoke in front of them, have guys running in and out. She would not clean.
So you're saying
that
that is the reason why you wanted to leave, and that's why you were going in and out of the house.
I told her, okay, me and him, I don't really want to stay with him. We're not really getting along right now. She was like, oh, well, you could come stay with me. You don't have to pay me any rent. You don't have to pay any bills.
So he's 20 years old. How long do you say you've been with him?
For like a year now,
What
but
does he
I've
do
known
for a
him
living?
longer than that.
What does he do for a living?
He works at Walmart.
All right, I think I've heard enough here.
One other thing to say about this whole case, I worked hard for everything, for these 4 pages, all these jobs that I had trying to learn how to maintain a job, I worked hard for that. Amanda didn't take care of me. Amanda didn't buy me nothing. It was times where I was at her house starving. It was times where I didn't even know. I didn't find out till next year. The next year after, when I applied for food stamps, she was getting government assistance for you. She was getting this. I called my mom to find this out. Oh yeah. Well, why is Angel going without clothes? Why is Angel staying at your house and you don't have no food in the refrigerator?
The mom that you curse out.
Stop it.
$700 worth of food stamps, but I'm straight going hungry and I'm staying with you. And I just felt betrayed. That's the only reason why I'm here, because it hurt me. And I straight felt betrayed by her because I stayed with her. She could have told me, oh, I'm getting this for you. I'm getting these type of benefits for you. She was even trying to get child support from my mom and dad so it can go to her. That's not right, and that's why I'm here.
I told the courts I did not want child support.
But
my mom could let you. My mom would tell you we didn't want child support.
Stop. Everybody stop. I've heard enough. Before I rule on this case and the legal issues, let me just start with this. I know you mentioned in your papers that you guys are from the Ferguson area, and everything that's been going on in that community, you don't want to see your sister go down that road and get in trouble and ruin her life with some of the choices that she's making. And I really do believe that you care about her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad the fact that she graduated a year early. She makes straight A's. Smart as ever in school. Smart when it comes to the books and everything, but it's just sometimes she make the wrong decisions.
And that's why I'm going to turn to you right now and tell you everything that they're saying today, they're not making everything up.
But they are.
Don't. No. Stop. There's a reason why you were in this facility. There's a reason why you had to spend time there. Obviously, you haven't had the easiest childhood, and some of that is because of some of the choices that you made. You have to own up to that too. But listen, I commend you at 19 years old for working hard. I commend you for having your own place, for graduating school early, doing all of those other things. I really do. But I still think you can do better.
What do you mean by do better?
I think you can take better ownership and responsibility for your relationships with your sisters and with your family and your part in this conflict.
Judge, I feel she should just be accountable for her own actions.
I understand what
you're saying. I feel like we shouldn't just try to sit here and play the victim role and make it seem like Angel.
Neither one of you,
my mom has
are
5
perfect.
girls.
Because we gonna have two that's gonna jump on me.
And
make it seem, but we gonna make sure my character looks bad. We gonna make sure Angel
stop talking. Both of you stop talking.
Try to say she bring different guys in. What
let's
did you
be
do
honest, because y'all have not been honest since we stepped in this courtroom.
Listen,
let's be honest.
Now you're showing what you're really like.
Okay,
because
I've
told you 5 times to stop talking, and you won't stop talking. So you're not respecting the court. You're not respecting me right now. You're not respecting me. And I know if you're acting like this in court, I can only imagine what you're acting like at home.
Okay, because you don't understand. You can sit
listen,
here and try
I've
to act
heard
like you understand
and
my
I'm
life
listening
because you
to
heard
you.
a piece of it,
but
you don't.
I understand you, but I can't let you just talk for 20 minutes, and I've asked you to stop, and you're not doing it.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
I've heard everything that both of you have had to say today, and some things I'm taking into consideration, and some things I'm not. In this case, the two of you may or may not have come up with this agreement that you would reimburse her for some of the money you got back. But see, I don't even have to make that decision, because if you think someone wrongfully claims you as a dependent on their tax return, your remedy is not to come and bring them to court. Your first remedy is to go to the IRS. If she's already filed and claimed you, what you have to do, you can't electronically file because you'll be rejected. You have to paper file. Then the IRS gets your return, and then they see, oh, you're claiming yourself, your sister is claiming you, we need to sort this out. And they have to contact her. They have to contact you, and then they sort that out. You can't just come up with this agreement where you got a refund on my behalf, so I want you to pay me $600.
That was her agreement.
Both of you, even if you came up with that, if you came up with that agreement, you can't bring it into court and I enforce it. I can't enforce that agreement, because it's not the right agreement. Your remedy is to go to the IRS. And I know you probably don't know this because you're 19.
You see how she walks off? Like, this is what we go through. This is what we go through.
Listen, this is the law. I'm not making this up.
Right.
I'm not trying to come up with something to try to cheat her out of money. If she's owed the money, she would get the money. But this is the law. My hands are tied here. I commend you for trying to help your sister. And I commend her for the things that she's done. You talked about her making straight A's, and she talked about working right now and being in school. One thing that she obviously needs to work on is her attitude and how she responds to adversity, or how she responds to someone who's telling her something that she doesn't want to hear. It's unfortunate that she walked out of court today, but I think that's a reflection of something she needs to work on, which is her attitude. And the other thing I want to say, at some point in your life, you have to make a choice with what happens, because she didn't have an easy childhood, right? At 12 years old, very young age, she's not at home, she's in a group home, she's in a juvenile facility, as you described it. That's not easy for a young person to live their teenage years like that. Many of us, as we rise in the ranks in our professional lives, we've had challenges and obstacles that we've had to overcome. I'm certainly not here because I had it easy or because I didn't face adversity. I mean, I look at people like Oprah and Tyler Perry, who had childhoods, they were sexually and physically abused, but they completely turned their lives around and are doing amazing things. And I think that boils down to people who choose what to do with the obstacles they have faced. They can let those obstacles hinder them for the rest of their lives. They can allow them to teach them lessons and be stepping stones in their lives. And I hope that Angel is somehow able to go forward and use these things as a stepping stone. And I hope that if she does that and she changes her attitude and she does get better, that all of you can repair your relationship. And good luck to your family.